The BC Living Lab is part of Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada's Agricultural Climate Solutions project. It's a $185 million project spanning nationwide over 14 living labs. The project has three main objectives: carbon sequestration, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and increasing co-benefits on farm practices.
BMPs come from research organizations like this, and they have to be relevant to Canadian farmers, to BC farmers. We do this not just for local use, but some of the information is disseminated nationally and internationally, and the adoption happens sometimes in other countries before it even happens here.
Last year we did our first field seeding, and this year is the second year of having the cover crops implemented in the vineyards and orchards. The really interesting thing about tree fruits in particular is that the growers are all doing this for different reasons.
Some growers want to alter the amount of heat that's reflected back into the canopy. Others are wanting to reduce the amount of nitrogen fertilizer that they're using. They're looking specifically for leguminous cover crops that will fix atmospheric nitrogen that can eventually be available for uptake by the crops. Still others are looking to improve the amount of pollinator diversity, so they want flowering species in their cover crop mix.
Our vineyard operations are all organic and regenerative farming, and we've been doing that for about 18 years now. We're involved with doing some comparative studies on cover cropping versus non-cover cropping. We have two different programs. We have an undervine program and then an alleyway program. For that, we use a fall-seeded cereal, usually winter triticale. Really hardy and doesn't grow too wild in the spring. For undervine, that's where we get into our mix, and so we direct seed that right up against the vine row where the drip irrigation can give it some water. We're trying to get away from any kind of major soil disturbance. So with direct seeding with a no-till seeder, it drills it right in. And then we found out we got a bonus from doing that, as it also chops the prunings up as the seeder goes over it. We find it actually quite cost-effective. We're looking at about $35 to $40 an acre for the seed costs, about another $10 to seed it. And that is most of our nutrient program. We don't have any weeding after that. It cycles nutrients, and then on top of that, we get a couple months of grazing in the winter time with our herd of cattle. So
I can see that with each year, as we see what works, we'll probably tweak our mixes and tweak our seeding techniques to see if we can make them more successful over time.
I've been a grower for 40 years, so I'm looking after about 24 acres of cherries now. We got it established last year, so a lot of base research done last year. I think it's good to experiment with it. Cover crops have been around for a long time, so they do know some of the benefits of them for sure. It's a little different on an orchard because we have orchard grass already in the rows, so we'll have to see what the benefits are. I'm certainly hoping that we can reduce the amount of fertilizer, and I'm hoping that we can see results in reduced powdery mildew too. So there is a possibility that that's going to increase the humidity in the orchard too, so that could have an effect on the powdery mildew also.
We've been playing around with different timings of seeding, different methods of seeding, and different seeding densities and depths.
The thing I always think about with working with cover crops is that we have lots and lots of tools and technology to get rid of weeds. So if you plant something and it doesn't work out, you can get rid of it easy. As time goes on and we keep adding these mix in, with the limited amount of soil disturbance, we're really seeing the organic matter increase over time. Very good health in our vineyard, and our nutrient inputs are now almost virtually nothing.
What do I hope we can achieve through the BC Living Lab? I think some of that we've achieved already, and that is just getting us to all talk to each other.
Definitely part of it is to show other producers what we're doing, and so they can learn from our experiment too. We're trying to help everybody out.
If we can work together to create this kind of research community that explores and refines management practices that are specific to farmers' needs, that would be great.